today we're going to be talking about the books that are available through the Ipswich High School Summer Reading Program. And each grade has its own theme and its own choices of books to read. And Katie Worker is going to be talking to you about some of the books, and I'll chime in if I know anything about them. And all the information can be found on the library website. And we're having a book fair on the 13th and 14th of June in the library, and you can come on in then to purchase your books if you'd like. And without further ado, Katie.
All right, great. Well, you have a really exciting lineup. All right, so now we're doing incoming seniors. Welcome to your last summer reading. Unless you go to college, then good luck. We're going to start with A Thousand Splendid Suns. Your theme that this is going towards is contemporary literature, journalism, and fiction. This is a very contemporary, very important read. I actually listened to this on audiobook. I highly recommend it. The reader has an authentic accent, and she says many words that probably if I was reading, I'd glance over without a second thought. It's really worth doing the audiobook. What is it about? It is about two women, very different walks of life, but their paths will emerge by the midway of the book, and you don't see it coming because you really are rooting for everyone, but it's so good. Anyway, so premise, 1970s Afghanistan, and for those of you who are not familiar with the Middle East, Afghanistan is one of the countries that they are always some sort of turmoil. There's a new leader here, a new leader there, and it starts off with the main character, Mariam, and what she sees her life being, who is her father, what does he mean to her. She's cast aside from society. She thinks she has her chance. She's 15. She's sent off to marry a stranger. Not the best start. Is he a nice person? Not really. So her life, you follow it, you root for her, you get so excited for her, you cry with her. Life is going up and down. The communists are in charge. Now women might get an education. Maybe it's too late for her. Might not be too late for Layla, a young girl who lives on the same street as Miriam, never gets to really know her until tragedy occurs. Communists leave, the Taliban's in charge. Is this good? Is this bad? No one knows, but people are dying. And all of a sudden, Layla's faced with a very hard decision, and she decides that her best shot of a true life off the streets is to become the second wife of Miriam's husband. And there's friction. So you're rooting for both of these wonderful women. And then all of a sudden, they are fighting. And it's a whole roller coaster of emotion. I 100% recommend this also because it gives a really great history of Afghanistan up until a couple years after September 11th. So if you're at all curious about how the country got to where it was when then we entered war in Afghanistan, this will give a really great background and also tell you about the people of the country, which I think is often forgotten. So this is a great contemporary piece. The next book, I did not get a chance to read this, but it is about the Osage murderers and the birth of the FBI. So it's about murder on the reservation. So if you're at all curious about reservation life, spoiler, a lot of unhappy things, and the law on the land versus the law of the rest of the country, how they have to work together, different jurisdictions. This will be a great book to get into. I would recommend talking to your teacher for more about it or take a look online, but this is highly recommended. And so if you're interested in little, again, murder mystery, but also just curiosity of life on a reservation and how different law enforcements get born out of conflict, recommend this. The next book, I'm sure you've all heard of it. It is now a big Hulu TV sensation by Margaret Atwood. It's The Handmaid's Tale. So instead of imagining a future where there are flying cars, or you meet aliens, or aliens destroy your planet, it's none of that in this book. It is a terrifying future because it could actually happen tomorrow. You never know. The things you say, this will never happen to us, it happens in this book. In fact, it happens in your hometown, Cambridge, Massachusetts. The library is one of the prominent structures in there, but I'm a little ashamed to say that is not used for knowledge and the love of learning. But it follows the tale of Offred, whose name really isn't used, true name isn't really used in this book. She's a handmaid of the Republic. And actually, I will let you talk about it more because it's been a while since I have read this book and I haven't seen it in a while. But again, watch the show after. Don't watch it first.
Try again. One of the senior book choices is The Handmaid's Tale by Margaret Atwood. I've read this book a few times. I love it. I love the TV show, though they're very different. So please don't think you can watch the TV show and be able to give any kind of accurate representation for your essays, because they are not the same. But what I will say about this is, just like Katie said, it feels like it could happen tomorrow. It's set locally in the Boston area, and it's this future world where everybody's all so worried about crime that they let the government take away all their rights, pretty much. And also, there's so many toxic chemicals going on in the environment that most women are infertile. And so any women who are of childbearing age and have had children have their children taken away from them and are become basically slaves to one of the powerful government man officials. It's really a scary book, and it really makes you think, like, I wonder if this could ever happen in our life.
All right, I just want to add into the end The Handmaid's Tale, but if you have read the graphic novel or seen the movie for V for Vendetta, or really like the movie Children of Men, those kinds of weird, it could happen maybe tomorrow, dystopian feel, definitely read Handmaid's Tale. You'll enjoy it. All right, and the last one that you have for your main choice going into senior year is going to be Between the World and Me by Ta-Nehisi Coates. I actually listened to this on audiobook. I can't recommend that enough. It's a 3.5-hour audiobook. So again, it is your quick read for this selection, and it is narrated by the author himself. So it's a very personal feel. And again, this is a contemporary story, and I can't underline how relevant it is. So, and the author, he is a black man who grew up in the Baltimore area in the 80s, 90s, and he just talks about what the black body means, how you can have this beautiful idea of what you want your life to be, white picket fence, you know, eat the pie, have the ice cream, it's all wonderful, but how most of his life he's just worried about his own body, not even his surroundings. 1/3 of his brain has to be dedicated to how is that head nod going to be interpreted. Like, he doesn't care about French class. None of his teachers explained to him that maybe this is important. He doesn't know Frenchman. None of the people in his area are French. Why is this even important? And he goes back and wonders, what would I have done with 1/3 of my brain that was so involved just trying to survive? What could I have become? All right, and for all of you juniors going into Seniorland with honors classes, you have to read one of these fine books, and also pick a book from the 11th, 10th, and 9th grade tables. So when you're watching this video, go back, keep in mind, you get to pick one of these books to read. And AP classes, get your assignments from your teachers. Okay. And then I think I'm just going to plug where they can get it in the library.
Okay, so just to recap, are all of these books available at the Ipswich Public Library, Katie?
Why, they are, yes. Our big shipment has just come in, so we're cataloging them right now. They'll probably be ready to go next week. You guys will have your own special shelf. It's 6th through 12th grade in the teen room. They're all labeled for summer reading. They will be no holds and no renewals, which means you'll see them online, but you have to physically come into the library to grab them. You can't put them on hold, and you cannot renew it. So you'll have the 3 weeks, but then we want to move them right along. I will be ordering some audio books, but there will be at least 3 to 5 copies of each book ready to go, and we will try our hardest to make sure that the adults don't find their way into the teen room and grab them, because they are very good books. And so they'll be ready to go, probably most of them by next week.
Excellent.
And I will have printed out versions of the reading lists and any various assignments that I can find right next to the books as reminders. So if you decide to send your parents in, they won't get 100% lost. We'll try to help them out. And I will be there to help at any time if you need an explanation and where to find them.
Excellent. Okay. And will you have the books labeled by grade, or will all of them just be together?
I will have them each shelf labeled by grade. Okay. So the spine labels won't, it'll be a mystery. But if you look, they'll each have a shelf. So 6th grade, 7th and 8th, 9th, 10th, 11th, and 12th, you'll all have your own.
Okay. And one other question. What if students want to listen to their book on audio? Would you be able to help them check out a copy of the book as an overdrive or something
Absolutely,
like
yes.
that?
Thank you for mentioning that. So overdrive is another option. That's actually how I listened to the 2 books I did on audio. We'll have physical CDs, but overdrive, we can get you connected. If you have any sort of smart device, an iPad, iPhone, Android phone, tablet, sky's the limit. Just make sure you know your library card number. If not, we can hook you up with that. If you do not have a library card, we can also hook you up with that because free books are the best, and we can do that.
Very